Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Ingrid Project. I'm feeling the southern come out of me real quick nowadays. And on this video, we're going to talk a little bit about my most recent role search. So if you're more interested into like career, tech, that kind of thing, this video is for you. So let's get into it. The question I received was how many applications and interviews did I have in my last search? So to give you guys a little bit of backstory, and I'm not sure yet, but this might make it into this season. I did film some stuff like meta related. So if that's of interest to you, maybe the videos will be here, maybe not. But okay. So to give you guys a little bit of backstory, I was previously working at Meta and I got laid off, as many of us did. The company went through downturn, as many tech companies did in the last year or so. And yes, like it was one, I was expecting it. Two, I felt like I could make it and I would be okay because guys, like, and you guys can follow me on the Grammy Ingrid_project because I talk about this a lot more there. I had reels and stuff that I was making during this time. But like at some point when I was in college, like I had no degree. I was like 19 years old. I was sleeping on someone's like office space. I was making basically like $5 an hour, broke as a joke. Like, I was not making $5 an hour. I had $5 in my bank account. Okay. I had all this debt. Life was crazy, and somehow I made it and I up leveled. Like, personally, for me, I'm like, it's hard for life to get rougher than that because those times were rough. Okay. So when I got laid off, I was like, I'm not worried about it. I made sure to take care of my bread, invested and everything, so that when I did get laid off, I was kind of like, I had my safety net. And yes, the severance was fucking great. Like, I will not deny that. And it helped a bunch, and I recognize the privilege that I have in working in tech, and how great it was to be able to have that. But I will also recognize, and you should too, if you are in tech and whatnot, like, although I recognize that I'm privileged, and yes, I have like this cushy job, I also worked really hard for this shit. And it gets on my nerves when people are like, oh, you're so lucky, like, not just with tech, but like, you're so lucky to have this job, you're so lucky to have this body, like, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah, yo, like, did you see this hard work though? Like, okay, sorry, I'm getting petty. So let's talk about it. So in my last search, I was a lot more intentional. And when it came from, of course, I leveraged my network a lot, and networking was very important during this role search because it was extremely competitive. So many highly qualified people from top MAANG companies were being laid off, and the competition was really high. The demand was really low, and it was specifically challenging for me being someone earlier in my career, because people who are at that mid or more senior level were willing to take roles that I was qualified for, where they would receive less pay, and companies were obviously willing to hire someone who was overly qualified and pay them less, versus giving someone like me the opportunity to try my skills at a new role. So I found this job search to be very, very challenging, but nonetheless, here I am. I got the job. Surprise, surprise. So let's talk about it. How many applications? So I didn't count all of them, but from what I had in my Excel spreadsheet, I did 40 applications, and all 40 of those applications had referrals. Now, this is 40 applications in like the span of like in the span of like 2.5, 3 months. And that may not sound like a lot, but having referrals for all of them, guys, was key. Because if you don't have a referral for a role that you're interviewing for, your chances are very slim of getting noticed at all. So I made sure I had a referral. I abused and abused my network, and of course, I didn't wait until I needed something from my network to reach out to them. These are folks that I've like kept in touch with over the years, and I've made sure to pay it forward for them in any instance that I've been able to. And you should do the same. So I did about 40 applications, all of them with referrals. Like I either had a referral, knew the recruiter, had someone introduce me to someone directly in the company or to the hiring manager. Like I was very, very intentional. And out of those 40 applications, I had 17 interviews. Now, out of those 17 interviews, like there were a lot of those that were like a first or second round, and then I didn't make it to like the next round. um and I got ghosted by a bunch of people. Like you guys know how it is. Like you get ghosted, um like whatever. And out of all of those 17 interviews, I received 3 offers. I received one conditional offer that basically went nowhere because they told me that they needed to basically wait for budget and they didn't actually have a role for me. They just wanted to have someone qualified for when a role opened up, which I was like, this is bullshit. But that's what happened. And then I received 2 offers that were competitive with each other. And I chose the one that made the most sense for me, which I did that based on my top 5 values, which you guys already know. Go and watch the video on the values. I know you guys are tired of me saying that. And yeah, like I started, I got laid off in May, and I received my offer, like the last 2 offers in late August. So May, like end of May, June, July, August. So like 3 months worth of very intentional searching. During that time, I kept up with the part-time job that I had because I'm all about getting like my bread. I wasn't gonna let my severance run out before I figured out my next move. I also already, during the time I was interviewing for these roles, I was also interviewing for an in-between job because I knew that job search could take a lot longer, and I wanted to have a full-time income coming in, even if it was a lot less than what I was making, because hey, I'm by myself. Like I gotta pay my bills. Ain't nobody gonna pay them for me, and you do what you gotta do. So I already had like 2 jobs lined up, ready to go in case like my severance ran out and I didn't have like a tech role lined up yet. And yeah, those last 2 offers that I received, I started interviewing with both of them, I would say like end of July. And the company that I ended up going with, I ended up having to do like four interviews with them, and then I had like one last final interview, so it ended up being like 5 interviews total, which sounds insane, but that's pretty standard, unfortunately, in the tech field. And from the time I received my offer to when I actually started working, it was still like another month. So guys, keep that in mind as you're doing your job search. These things take time. Please, if you get laid off, if you're able to, do not let your severance run out before you find another role. It's okay to do an in-between role in the meantime to get your bills paid. Yes, I understand that the role search is a full-time job in and of itself. This was most definitely one of the most stressful, miserable times in 2023, looking for this role while also, like, so many things. Like, looking for this role while also having like a large investment commitment, while being in the middle of moving, while working a part-time job, while trying to meet the 300 challenge. Like, guys, this was a really rough 4 months. And if you go back on the IG on Ingrid_project, you will see that I was like breaking out. My lips were falling apart because they were like just so chapped from like being stressed. It was rough. Like, it was rough, but we prevailed, and I'm really grateful for it because, hey, it's made me even tougher. Like, I used to be tough as nails, and now I'm even like more tougher than nails. And I'm also grateful that I got laid off this early in my career because it showed me, 1, it's not the end of the world. 2, I prevailed and I will continue to do so. And 3, I know exactly what to do should it happen again, because let's face it, like, tech is a very volatile industry. So that's how my apps and interviews went in the last job search. I'm interested in what questions you have regarding the role search, regarding tech, regarding breaking into tech. I want to make more videos in that regard. I believe that's going to be more of the key focus of season two, talking about career, project management, program management, all that jazz. Which by the way, the majority of people who got laid off, I saw them land somewhere better and like better paid, better position. And I too, I want to say like the role that I accepted was more like made more sense for me monetarily, title wise, where I was working, like everything aligned. So definitely better off. So don't feel like if you get laid off that, oh, now I need to go settle for something else. Boo. Like take this opportunity to up level your life. Okay. Um, so okay, that's that, guys. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like, I don't know how to conclude this video other than to say like keep on hustling, get your bread, get your money, like get that part-time job, get that full-time job, like keep on making bank. And yes, keep on hustling. So I'll see you guys on the next video.